Aloha, welcome back. I was putting away some of my summer clothes and getting ready for the next season, and I found this shirt, which I haven't really used in a long time. This shirt always reminds me of Aruba because of the turtles. There's a lot of turtle sanctuaries in Aruba. It's almost the color of the flag. And while the mojito has been done and overdone so many times, it's such a simple recipe, but yet some people can't get it correct. It's basically just a daiquiri with mint. I think at the time I went 10 years ago, I found it to be the safest place, maybe even safer than in my hometown. But I don't care if it's your smallest town, your biggest city, you're going to have some pockets of crime. And the reason why this mojito is near and dear to me is because the first time I was there 10 years ago, I was actually there to film a wedding of my friend. I got my first taste of Cuban rum. Havana Club is probably the most recognizable Cuban rum brand around. And as many people know, all Cuban products in the United States are illegal. That includes the sugar, the cigars, and the rum. John F. Kennedy signed an embargo making it illegal for those products to be brought into the United States. Before he made a law, he sent a special envoy to Cuba to buy something like 300 boxes of his favorite Cuban cigars, which was a Petite Corona, which is also my favorite. So my friend Judy, who's originally from New Jersey, had a bar in Aruba. First thing I did when I got landed, I went to her place, I got a light lunch, and I got some Cuban rum, and I was hooked. And I wanted a mojito, but it had to be made with Cuban rum. And where do you go for a mojito? Where else but Mojitos? Mojitos is a really cool, kitschy bar on the second floor overlooking the seaport where the cruise ships come in. Obviously the sea, there's a lot of shoppers. Pretty good food actually, and it's just a really good time. So you can't bring back any Cuban cigars, any Cuban rum, or sugar. There is one legal way to do it, and if you go outside of the United States to like Canada, Mexico, Aruba, or like I was in Colombia, you are allowed to bring back a bottle if you buy it in a duty-free shop. Check the laws. They change all the time, but when I was there, I think you were allowed to take back 2 bottles. And when I got to the customs agent, he said, "Did you buy anything at a duty-free shop?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "How many did you buy?" And I'm looking at him because he knows how many I bought, because I saw her scan the barcode and put in how many I bought. You always want to be honest with them. You never want to give them a hassle. Their job is difficult enough as it is. So the last thing you want to do is make their life harder, because they're going to make your life harder. And if you start causing trouble, they're going to think that you're going to be trouble on the plane, and you really don't want that. There is a brand by the name of Havana Club available in the United States, but it is not the same Cuban Havana Club brand. It's not a bad rum, but it's nothing like the original Cuban version. Here's some ideas and ways you could legally obtain Cuban rum in the United States. The laws do vary, so be extra careful. Remember, laws change all the time, and the fines can be up to tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially with the Cuban cigars. You could enjoy these products anywhere outside of the United States where Cuban products are legal. Now, this past weekend we were at a Cuban restaurant with some friends, and I saw this guy making some mojitos, and he had them all lined up. And the reason is because, as simple as it is, bartenders really hate this drink because it takes a little bit of extra labor. To make one isn't a problem, but when a crowd of people come in and they all want mojitos, and you got to make 10 of them, yeah, there's a bit of time involved. So this guy was prepping them, and as you could see, he wasn't exactly measuring it, but I'm going to guess he's done this a million times in a Cuban restaurant, so he really doesn't have to measure. And he was using a different type of sugar. It looked like light brown sugar, not dark brown, but light brown sugar, but I think he said it was cane. You go in the baking aisle, this is what you'll find for the light brown sugar. It's in a box. I'm going to share you a super simple mojito recipe, and I do not recommend this, but I've seen it done, and believe it or not, it blows away a lot of the mojitos you're going to find at some of your fast casual mega chain restaurants and eateries. Basically, all you really need is some lemon lime soda and a sprig of mint. Push this in there. Muddle the mint a little bit. Fill with ice. Add the rum. And fill with soda. So why am I doing it like this? Basically everything you need, with the exception of the mint, is in here. You got your sugar, you got your lemon lime, and you got a little bit of the soda water. As you're going to see, when I make this recipe, the real version, you're going to see that I put some seltzer water in there, club soda, whatever. You want something with smaller, finer bubbles. This is not a carbonated drink, or it shouldn't be. You just want the bubbles just lift the flavor a little bit. I'd much rather have something like this than something that's from a plastic bottle that's high fructose corn syrup, citric acid, and some dye and food coloring. It works. Now, I was over a friend's house and they had this White Claw hard seltzer. I don't recommend using something like this. This is horrific. I don't know who would drink this, and I apologize to anybody that's offended, but this doesn't taste like lime or anything. It just, I don't know. I don't know how you drink that stuff. And now for the authentic Cuban mojito recipe. As always, you want to get all of your ingredients in front of you so you're not fumbling for something else later on while the ice is melting. Gently muddle about half a dozen mint leaves. Add your sugar. In this case, I'm using simple syrup made from cane. Add your lime juice. Some recipes call for 2 ounces of rum, but I think this should be a lighter, more refreshing drink because you're probably going to have more than one, especially if you're eating a lot of salty Cuban food. So go easy. Shake vigorously. Strain into a tall glass and add about an ounce of soda water. Not a lot. You don't want to overpower it or water it down. And there you have it. The authentic mojito recipe, which has been made in Cuba for hundreds of years. Till next time, mahalo and cheers.
Isn't happy hour anytime?